Today on Investigate TV Plus, a family's grief connected to a dentist and drugs that were never supposed to leave his office.
Every bit of light that she had in her, he destroyed it.
A revealing nationwide investigation about the path some dentists are given after drug abuse and negligence that can end in death.
Just because somebody's gone to school, just because someone has certifications, does not make them a good person.
Plus, a danger in the doorway.
All at once, it just knocked me flat.
An in-depth look at the repeated risk sliding across unsuspecting people's paths and leading to serious injury.
It was farthest from my mind that walking through the doors into the terminal was a danger.
In finding friendship and purpose one step at a time.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start saying yes to things, and I wanna get out there and do this adventure called life.
How a simple walk built bonds and is inspiring women, maybe even in your community.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
You see them for regular cleanings, cavities, and checkups, but what dentists do can have a huge impact on your health. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. But when they mess up, who's holding them accountable? We drilled into dental discipline across the country, discovering some dentists are allowed to hand in their licenses to avoid harsh punishment, even in egregious cases.
There were drug bottles everywhere. There were needles all over the floor. We had to be very careful where we walked. And she said, well, he's just hydrating me. I said, this isn't hydrating somebody, honey. What's going on?
It's a major shortcoming in accountability that one Maryland family tragically learned about.
Investigative reporter Josie Sturman shows us the push to protect other patients.
Used syringes, alcohol wipes, and bottle after bottle of IV drugs rarely given outside the operating room. That's what emergency responders found inside this Maryland home on the morning of January 26, 2022. The bottle, some with needles still stuck inside, contained propofol, ketamine, and other powerful medications used to soothe anxiety and put surgical patients to sleep. For 25-year-old Sarah Harris, the combination meant she'd never wake up.
I knew on the phone when he told me, I knew he was responsible for it.
The he in this tragic story is dentist James Ryan, the picture of professionalism in this promotional video touting his oral surgery clinic on YouTube.
I'm James Ryan.
Sarah Harris was first a patient in this smile-filled practice, then an employee, and eventually Ryan's girlfriend. That relationship turning the aspiring model into an addict and the prominent dentist into a prisoner, convicted of second-degree murder.
He's a monster. Evil.
Ryan's sinister acts, prosecutors say, included continuously supplying Sarah with potent injectable drugs diverted from his practice over the course of their year-long relationship, with text messages showing he even injected the former pageant queen with ketamine while she was sleeping.
Every bit of light that she had in her, he destroyed it.
A beautiful light dimmed by a dentist who prosecutors say abused his position. But just days after Dr. Ryan was criminally charged with murder, the state dental board that's supposed to hold him accountable professionally made a surprising decision.
What was your reaction to finding out that the dental board let him surrender his license?
My blood boiled. I was furious.
Rather than revoke or even suspend Ryan's license, Maryland's dental board allowed him to voluntarily turn it in. A move records show even gives him the option to try and get it back in just 2 years if a prison sentence doesn't stand in the way.
On what planet is that not enough for them to say, you know, okay, this is, we're going to need to go ahead and revoke this because this is absolutely disgusting.
But not entirely uncommon. Our national investigative team discovered dentists across the nation are often allowed to surrender their licenses rather than face more serious discipline like revocations or suspensions, even in cases with egregious misconduct. We spent months drilling down into records for hundreds of dentists disciplined by dental boards in nearly every state over the last 3 years, looking specifically at a sample of those hit with the most serious disciplinary actions. At least 50 of the more than 300 dentists we looked at were given the option to hand in their dental licenses, following everything from DUIs to sexual misconduct in the office, coming to work intoxicated, gross negligence, infection control problems, diverting dental drugs for personal use, and even over-sedating patients.
I think that sends a very bad message. I think that gives liberty to dentists.
Freedom that in some cases lets dentists try to get back into business after giving up their licenses. Disciplinary records we examined for Florida show dentists who surrender there have to agree never to reapply. But many states, including Iowa, Maryland, Missouri, Utah, and Virginia, give them the option to ask for their licenses back, sometimes within as little as a year.
Just because someone's gone to school, just because someone has certifications, does not make them a good person. And you need to be mindful of who you are seeing. You need to be mindful and protect yourself and your family, because monsters exist, and most of the time they're hiding in plain sight.
For weeks, our team sought out industry experts, including attorneys who handled licensing and malpractice cases, expert witnesses, academics, and groups focused on dental ethics and education, trying to get reaction to our findings, with no luck. The American Dental Association, the powerful lobbying group that helps to shape policies for dentists across the nation, refused our interview request. The American Association of Dental Boards, an umbrella group representing disciplinary boards in every state, never provided anyone to speak with us despite numerous attempts.
And this was actually the last picture that we have as a family.
For now, the Harris family is fine doing all the talking about a world they now want to change for Sarah, pushing for more transparency and oversight for dental boards and more attention on dentists with their own dental record.
My sister's story will be told, and we're going to fight for something to be put into place where these doctors are held accountable.
Attorneys for Dr. Ryan did not respond to emails or calls seeking comment. Maryland's dental board told our team that it does not discuss board decisions. In Washington, D.C., I'm Josie Sturman.
Our investigation doesn't stop here. Both dentists and doctors can struggle with addiction, but when they relapse, they aren't always pulled from the job, nor is that information disclosed to patients.
At what point do you believe the public has a right to know?
Since you're placing your health and life in their hands, they should know as much as possible.
And you have to understand that one of the primary motivations for individuals to engage in these programs and remain compliant with the program is that they know that if they're not, confidentiality will be lost.
You can read about the programs that help addicted doctors and the debate about how much patients have a right to know on InvestigateTV.com. Just search Dr. Discipline.
Still ahead, a chef trades fine dining for cafeteria meals.
The chili's probably one of their favorites.
How a career change helped him to find the missing ingredients in his life.
But first, a series of striking accidents at an airport left travelers questioning their safety.
More than one person mentioned that this was not the first time the doors had closed on somebody.
And we uncover how others could be injured in similar scenarios.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. They're free to download. The Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates in 2022, more than 1,300 people nationwide were injured by automatic doors, an average of nearly 4 people a week. There are measures in place to help protect you from faulty doors, but that doesn't mean problems are fixed right away.
Investigative reporter Susan L. Corey has an in-depth look at safety concerns after a string of incidents in Missouri.
It's a view with a closer look that's simply striking.
I was slammed to the cement.
An elderly woman walks into St. Louis Lambert International Airport when an automatic sliding door closes on her.
All at once, it just knocked me flat.
A different day, same door knocks a grandmother over.
Why did it happen?
And it doesn't stop there.
It was farthest from my mind that walking through the doors into the terminal was a danger.
In the span of a week and a half, automatic doors at Terminal 2 struck 3 people.
Saw the door coming, and so I put my hand up to stop it, which of course was totally worthless.
Lori Kearns and her 92-year-old mother, Lois Beaucamp, were headed to Texas, but they never made it.
They said, she's not going anywhere except the hospital. She had a fractured pelvis on her left side. She spent 3 nights in the hospital. She was in a lot of pain.
While her mom faces a long recovery, something else struck them.
While we were at the airport, more than one person mentioned that this was not the first time the doors had closed on somebody.
Our investigation into airport records revealed this. July 18th, 2023, 86-year-old Shirley Southard, a door closes on her. You can see her cane in the air as she falls.
They said I had a goose egg on the back of my head, and at that point, I hadn't moved around that much, but my hip was beginning to hurt.
It was the same door that would hit Beaucamp a week later.
I think we're owed answers.
The third time happening days after, as Marilyn Woods leaves baggage claim with her granddaughter.
I was like, did that door just hit me?
After the moment of impact, the door goes off its tracks.
That don't give you a pass that you can hit 3 people because you've had so many other people go through the door and they didn't get hit.
It leaves the question, how do automatic doors meant to sense people walking through end up hitting them?
From my understanding, the doors were functioning properly.
A spokesman says when we started asking questions, the airport made changes.
We looked at the door centers, we readjusted it.
He took us through door by door.
Hey there, guys.
To show they're staying open.
The optic is right there.
When they need to.
We've now adjusted it where the flow of anyone coming through the door can be more of a diagonal track versus, from my understanding, it once was more straightforward into the door.
There are national standards which set up safety zones around automatic doors extending several feet into the walkway. So when someone is standing in that area, the door is supposed to stay open. But if a sensor isn't working, that can sometimes create blind spots, which engineers say often pop up on the sides of the door.
The automatic door that's working right shouldn't close on people.
Dr. Richard Hooper is a Texas-based engineer who studies automatic doors.
It's a common occurrence. I would like to see the doors be safer just by design. But until then, yeah, they need to be checked every single day by the property owner. It only takes a few minutes.
At the airport, we found stickers on multiple doors calling for daily safety checks, even noting if there's a problem, discontinue use immediately.
One time is too many, and we regret that it even occurred, but we stand by the idea that we have a pretty good track record of getting people through those doors.
As Shirley Southard's helped into a wheelchair, surrounded by people, the door strikes again.
I just kind of like cringed when I saw it. I thought, oh no.
She was able to make her flight. For Lois Beaucamp,
I missed my trip to my former home and
it's a different story.
seeing some old friends and things like that are rather irritating.
The airport investigated and found automatic doors are not checked every day. They tell us those doors are original to the airport, installed when the terminal was built in 1998. We've learned there are plans to replace all of them and change some to revolving doors. In St. Louis, I'm Susan L. Corey.
Up next, a gourmet chef finds a new recipe for work-life balance.
We get to go to the rec center together, go park. We get to go to different events and everything together.
See how he managed to cook up more time for his family.
But first, a walking group inspires women to take a shot at a healthy life. We explore how building connections can keep you living longer.
Take that chance, because if I hadn't, I would not have the life that I built for myself here.
Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms. It's a nationwide epidemic, loneliness.
The U.S. Surgeon General says it increases the risk of depression, raises blood pressure, and disrupts sleep.
In fact, isolation can increase your risk of dying early by nearly 30%. But there are groups across the country taking steps toward belonging, literally.
Reporter Deborah Alfarone takes a stroll with women in D.C. who are forming new friendships.
This may look like a tour through Washington, D.C., but the U.S. Capitol, picturesque as it may be, isn't a stop. These women are walking to make new friends.
I was working, night shift hours, weekend times, and it was just so incredibly difficult, trying to meet people. I saw that there was a group similar to this that had started in New York City, and it was a huge success.
It was March 2022. Abigail Judstra just moved to D.C. when she scrolled past City Girls Who Walk.
I would love to be able to just go out, get outside, and meet new people, and so I was like, I'll just start an Instagram.
And City Girls Who Walk DC was born. The first walk saw 8 women. Now hundreds meet regularly to chat, exercise, and check out new hotspots.
So this is my first time coming, and I've been wanting to come to these walks, but I just haven't had the time. I think the incentive of the pizza really got me here.
Yes, pizza. But first, we have 2 miles to walk and more friends to meet, like Samantha.
It's a brand new city. I knew maybe 2 people when I moved here. And so I saw a TikTok and I was like, that looks like something I would never do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start saying yes to things, and I wanna get out there and do this adventure called life.
Samantha's now in charge of the group's community outreach. Groups like this and walks like these are literally saving lives. U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy says a shocking number of Americans feel disconnected.
Being socially disconnected, which can range from feeling alone to being isolated, is bad both for individual and societal health.
About 1 in 2 adults report experiencing loneliness. And that lack of social connection can be as dangerous to your health as smoking every day. Loneliness, isolation, and a lack of strong relationships means that your risk of heart disease can shoot up by 29%. Your risk of stroke can increase by 32%. That's why this is so important. Abigail met her best friend at a City Girls Who Walk happy hour.
And we just hit it off immediately. She was so funny. We're the same story, just like northern, southern versions of it. She actually ended up officiating my wedding.
Abby, our founder, she introduced me to my boyfriend through her husband.
Now what started as a way to build camaraderie has gone a step further into philanthropy. Katie heads up events.
We did the Alzheimer's walk in June, and I think that's an issue that a lot of people hold close to their hearts.
Then you also give back to the larger community. And why was it important for you guys to do that?
And I think we want to integrate into the community, really feel like we're a part of it.
City Girls Who Walk DC now has roughly 20,000 Instagram followers, with women from all walks of life.
What kind of advice would you give to the woman watching this who is a little bit introverted, doesn't know how to make that next step?
Take that chance, because if I hadn't, I would not have the life that I built for myself here.
A longer life, potentially, surrounded by new, good friends.
There are groups of City Girls who walk in Arizona, Florida, Ohio, Texas, Indiana, and both North and South Carolina. The group's message: inclusion and support, as well as improving women's physical and mental health along the way.
Coming up, meet a chef who was living out his passion until his priorities changed.
If you'd asked me 20 years ago, I would have probably told you you're crazy,
How he went behind bars to find new ingredients for his happiness.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes.
A culinary artist in South Carolina spent his career whipping up elegant dishes at his own fine dining restaurant until one day he decided to close the doors.
Reporter Lauren Korn explains why and how he hopes to inspire others to find balance in their lives.
Carmen Monticelli knows his way around the kitchen.
Greatest ingredient ever, garlic.
Carmen spent years balancing flavors and textures to cook up the perfect recipes.
Diced tomatoes go in next.
But says he needed to change the menu to find that same perfect balance at home.
We're gonna mix that around. My son's autistic, so he kind of needed me more than the restaurant.
That's when he switched from a chef's hat to a sheriff's badge.
Coming from the fine dining world, to the correctional world. If you'd asked me 20 years ago, I would have probably told you you're crazy. This is the plant-based sausage. That's where all the flavor and seasoning comes from.
Carmen says he loves being the food service director for the last 13 years. where he orders, plans, and prepares food for about 800 inmates and staff at the Horry County Sheriff's Office.
You have to try and get the food in at a good quality at the right price.
He also gets to throw a dash of his sophisticated palate into the mass-made meals.
It's pretty neat, you know, to able to incorporate those items into a correctional facility menu.
But he says nothing compares to being home more often with his son.
I was able to spend a lot more time with Ty. You know, we get to go to the rec center together, you know, go park, we get to go to different events and everything together. A little bit of steam, almost there.
Which of course includes some cooking.
He can't talk, but he has his ways to say, this is what I want, because I remember that's how you made it. He's straight up with you on things, you know. Here I am, a professional, you know, trained chef and everything, but he ends up loving his mom's cooking more than he does my cooking. It's looking good.
Carmen says he's received mostly good reviews at the jail, with one dish getting the highest mark.
The chili's probably one of their favorites. Nobody knows it's not vegan. I mean, they'll think it's all made with beef, but it's not. It's made with vegan.
You see, it takes just the right blend of ingredients to make that tasty vat of chili.
That's why it's usually important to cook it nice and slow.
And for Carmen, he took that recipe to heart.
Be perfect.
Finding another career that also gives him the same perfect blend of a work-life balance.
Found a job that I could still support my family and take care of him in the process.
You know, I think as an artist, a professional chef, it doesn't matter who you're cooking for. You're still going to take pride in what's in the pot.
You want to be the best, and
Yeah.
if they critique his food, you'd probably try to tweak it. The chili looked good, though,
It
right?
did.
Vegan chili.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Dee Chappelle. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, Black children are at a higher risk for drowning, and more than half cannot swim.
It's something we can change. Drowning is preventable.
We examine the life-saving efforts to bring equity to the pool and the historically Black university helping to break barriers.